You weren't meant to see this, but here we are. If you think nothing major is happening in crypto right now, you're looking in the wrong direction. The charts are quiet. The headlines are distracted. But behind closed doors, banks are sweating. Institutions are meeting in private. And warning bells are going off. Not over Bitcoin, not over memecoins, not over ETFs. This time, they're sounding the alarm over Ripple. More specifically, over Ripple's next strategic bombshell. RLUSD, a fully regulated, institution-grade stablecoin that just rewrote the playbook for how global money could move. And at the heart of it all, XRP, the asset the banks hoped would quietly fade into irrelevance, is now more relevant than ever. See, Ripple didn't just launch another crypto product. They launched an infrastructure-level replacement, a financial weapon. RLUSD isn't about speculation. It's about settlement at scale. Ripple's not here to compete with banks. They're here to make banks optional. And the banks finally realize it. That's why they're panicking. Not because Ripple's loud, but because Ripple is quietly getting everything done. Licenses, stablecoin infrastructure, XRP liquidity rails, enterprise integrations. And now the banking system has two options: adopt the new standard or get left behind. So if you're even remotely curious about where the future of money is really headed, if you want to know what Ripple is building, how XRP fits into this new ecosystem, and why RLUSD could be the biggest red flag the banks have ever waved, you're in the right place. If you're ready to unlock the truth the banks don't want in your feed, smash that like button right now to push this video to more eyes. Leave a comment with your thoughts on XRP, RLUSD, or how you see this playing out, and subscribe to the channel for weekly deep dives into the real financial shifts happening behind the scenes. And don't forget to click that notification bell, so you're always first to know when the next update drops and the next alarm goes off. RLUSD, the stablecoin that's anything but safe for banks. At first glance, RLUSD looks like just another stablecoin. It's pegged 1:1 with the US dollar. It's issued by Ripple, a company known for enterprise-level compliance. And it's built to be fully transparent, audited, and licensed. But that's exactly what makes it dangerous to the legacy system. Because RLUSD isn't just designed to sit inside the crypto ecosystem. Ripple didn't build this for DeFi. They didn't build it for retail traders chasing yield. They built it for institutions, governments, banks, corporations. And most importantly, they built it to move real money in real time. Let's break it down. Ripple has been constructing its infrastructure for over a decade. XRP Ledger for fast, feeless transactions. RippleNet for enterprise connectivity. On-demand liquidity for real-time foreign exchange. Regulatory licenses across the US, Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. But one piece was still missing: a compliant, fiat-pegged, stable value asset that could serve as the bridge between crypto and the dollar. Now, with RLUSD, that final piece is in place. This stablecoin isn't a side project. It's the glue, the transactional core that allows banks, businesses, and even governments to bypass slow, expensive systems like SWIFT, ACH, and traditional correspondent banking. And the banks just realized, this thing actually works. Think of what that means. With RLUSD, a company in Brazil can send $5 million to a partner in Germany, and the transfer settles in seconds. No wire fees, no foreign exchange middlemen, no delays, no bank holidays, no 3 to 5 business days nonsense. And that transfer, it flows through XRP as the liquidity bridge, and RLUSD as the fiat pair, all on Ripple's rails, not theirs. Here's why the banks are freaking out. Because for the first time, they're not the ones in control. They're not the gatekeepers. They don't get to approve the transaction. They don't get to charge a percentage for processing. They don't even get to touch the money. Ripple didn't ask for permission. They got licenses. They built the tech. Then they launched a compliant stablecoin that lets the money move without the bank. This isn't just about disruption anymore. This is replacement. RLUSD is a direct challenge to the system banks have depended on for decades. A system built on fees, friction, and control. Now Ripple is saying, we've got a better way, and you're not invited unless you adapt. XRP, the engine powering the new financial system, Let's get one thing clear. XRP is not just a coin. It's not just some token you hold hoping it goes to $10. It's infrastructure. It's the engine room of what Ripple has been building, and it's about to go from background player to center stage. See, while most people have been distracted by short-term charts, SEC headlines, and memecoin hype, Ripple has been playing the long game. And XRP has been quietly positioned at the core of it all. So what exactly is XRP doing behind the scenes? It's becoming the bridge asset between every currency, every stablecoin, and every network that wants to settle instantly, without going through traditional banks. Let's say a company wants to move $100 million from USD to Japanese yen. Using old systems like SWIFT, that could take 3 to 5 business days, multiple correspondent banks, hefty fees, and major risk from fluctuating exchange rates while the payment is pending. Now replace that entire system with one that converts USD into XRP instantly, sends XRP across the globe in 3 to 5 seconds, converts XRP into yen at the other end, all with minimal fees and no banking delays. That's not theory. That's on-demand liquidity, ODL, Ripple's XRP-powered settlement network. And yes, it's already being used by financial institutions across 50-plus countries. But here's the game changer. Now that RLUSD is entering the system, XRP becomes even more powerful. Because instead of just moving between foreign currencies, XRP can now bridge between fiat, USD, and stablecoin, RLUSD. Move that value across the XRPL or Ethereum. Provide instant liquidity for any tokenized asset or digital currency. This programmable money flow across borders, across blockchains in seconds. And it's not limited by geography, time zones, or legacy infrastructure. This is what Ripple's been building toward for a decade. A complete ecosystem where XRP isn't just a coin on an exchange. It's the liquidity standard underneath real enterprise-grade transactions. And now the banks are starting to realize this isn't some retail speculation token. It's not going away. It's not a meme. It's code, law, and money moving in real time. And Ripple just plugged XRP into a system that includes a compliant stablecoin, RLUSD, a globally recognized network, RippleNet, partnerships with central banks and major institutions, and a technical foundation built for enterprise-scale adoption. The question isn't, will XRP survive? The question is, will banks survive without it? Why banks are quietly panicking behind the scenes. Let's step into the boardrooms for a second, the real ones. Not Twitter threads, not crypto conferences. I'm talking about the quiet rooms where financial institutions plan 5, 10, even 50 years ahead. And right now, Ripple, RLUSD, and XRP are on the agenda. Not in public, not in press releases, but in internal memos, private calls, and regulatory working groups. And the message is clear. There's a new infrastructure forming beneath our feet, and we are not controlling it. So what are the banks afraid of? They're not afraid of losing to some viral memecoin. They're not even afraid of Ripple being popular with retail investors. They're afraid of something far more dangerous, becoming obsolete. Because the system Ripple has built, with XRP at its core and RLUSD as the settlement layer, removes the two things banks have always monetized best. Friction. Delay. Every time you wait for a transfer, every time an international payment bounces, every time you're charged a processing fee or conversion charge, that's a revenue stream. And Ripple just erased it. With RLUSD and XRP, settlement isn't just faster. It's instant. There's no need for a third-party clearinghouse. No need for a 2-day window. No need for 6 different banks to touch a single transaction and each take a cut. Ripple replaced the entire back end. So when a fintech firm in Asia or a logistics company in Europe plugs into RippleNet and sees how fast money can move using XRP and RLUSD, they stop needing the bank altogether. Here's what makes it worse for banks. Ripple didn't just build this tech. They made it compliant. This isn't some rogue offshore coin. This is a US-based company with money transmitter licenses, central bank relationships, regulatory clarity, yes, even post-SEC case, audited stablecoin reserves, a growing list of countries testing or adopting the tech. So banks can't block it by calling it unsafe. They can't dismiss it as unregulated. They can't even ban it. The only thing they can do, try to catch up. But Ripple's already years ahead. Here's the uncomfortable truth for traditional finance. Ripple doesn't need them, but they're beginning to realize they might need Ripple. Because as the world moves toward tokenized assets, CBDCs, stablecoin rails, and real-time global payments, the legacy system is creaking, and Ripple is already offering the upgrade. Ripple isn't just competing, it's rebuilding the financial operating system. Let's pause the headlines and zoom out, because this isn't about a flashy pump. It's not about speculative moonshots, and it's certainly not about trying to beat Bitcoin or Ethereum on CoinMarketCap. What Ripple is doing quietly, methodically, and legally is far bigger. They're not here to win a popularity contest in crypto. They're replacing the financial operating system the world has depended on for decades. Let that sink in. While the average retail investor is still refreshing charts and waiting for the next bull run, Ripple has been building, not hype, but infrastructure. They've been laying the foundation for a global value layer, one that doesn't rely on Swift codes, correspondent banks, or middlemen. A system where money moves like data, instantly, securely, across borders, across currencies, across platforms. And they're not doing it with Twitter threads and vaporware. They're doing it with regulatory clarity in multiple jurisdictions, licenses that allow them to operate legally as a payments provider, real partnerships with central banks, financial institutions, and governments, technology that actually works and is already live in the wild. This isn't a white paper dream. It's not a potential use case. It's already happening. Here's what's being built, and why banks are waking up far too late. XRP is becoming the universal bridge asset, enabling real-time swaps between any two currencies, with no need for pre-funded accounts or banking intermediaries. RLUSD, Ripple's stablecoin, isn't just another digital dollar. It's fully compliant, transparent, and engineered for enterprise-scale settlement, giving institutions a stable, audit-ready vehicle that moves as fast as XRP itself. RippleNet is more than a messaging system. It's a full-stack cross-border infrastructure, connecting financial entities globally, while eliminating the lag, fees, and frictions of the legacy banking world. And the XRP ledger? It's quickly emerging as the settlement layer not just for crypto, but for tokenized everything, including real estate, stocks, carbon credits, central bank digital currencies, government disbursements, institutional stablecoins. This is the real transformation people talked about back in 2017, except now it's operational. And it's not just crypto insiders noticing. Governments are exploring integrations. Central banks are running pilot programs. Fintech giants are connecting to Ripple's rails. Traditional financial institutions are quietly onboarding or preparing to. Ripple is already active in over 50 countries, not as a theory, but as an integrated partner. And behind closed doors, legacy institutions are realizing they don't get to set the pace anymore. Most crypto projects promise to change the world. Ripple just did it without the noise. They moved in the shadows. They focused on compliance. They didn't market a dream, they built a system. And now that system is live, growing, and attracting the attention of those who matter most in the future of finance. So the question isn't, will Ripple survive? It's not even, will XRP pump? The question is, will anyone else be allowed to keep up? Because Ripple is no longer a crypto company. They're a foundational pillar in the financial infrastructure of tomorrow. And tomorrow is coming much faster than most people think. This isn't a trend. It's a transition. Let's be honest. Ripple isn't waiting for permission. They're not chasing hype, headlines, or hashtags. They're building the system everyone else will eventually be forced to use, whether they realize it now or not. XRP is no longer just a digital asset. It's the bridge, the rail, the tool powering a new era of global finance. RLUSD? That's not some stablecoin gimmick. It's a fully compliant financial access point designed to plug directly into governments, institutions, and the backbones of tomorrow's payment systems. And the legacy banks? They just realized they're no longer in control. They're watching their business model get rewritten line by line, in real time, by a company they thought they could outregulate and ignore. Ripple didn't just survive the storm. They became the storm. So now the question is this: are you prepared? Not just to speculate, but to understand, to position, and to take action before the rest of the world catches up. Because while everyone else is focused on the next pump, you're here, watching the foundation of modern finance being rebuilt under your feet. If you're ready to go deeper, to uncover the stories the mainstream won't cover and track the shifts the charts don't show, smash that like button right now to help push this truth out to more people who need to see it. Drop a comment below. Tell me your take on Ripple's ecosystem, XRP's future, or what you think the banks are really planning next. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next deep dive. We're building a smart, informed, unstoppable community here, and I want you in it. So join the movement, share this video with your people, and get ready, because what's coming next won't look like the past. It'll look like Ripple.